So far, I've taken 293.4 pounds out of my 1993 2.3-liter Mustang Autocross car. I still need to drop over 200 pounds to reach my 500-pound weight loss goal. Some of the weight reduction mods I plan to make are pretty pricey, so I want to make as many free and inexpensive weight reduction mods as possible to get this fox down to fighting weight. Cruise control is a creature comfort I can sacrifice to build a more capable corner carver, so I'm taking it out of Apocalypso. There's a debate online about how much the OEM cruise control components weigh. I've seen estimates of anywhere from 4 to 10 pounds. This video covers how I remove the cruise control components and provides an accurate weight for the parts that came out of my car. I used the instructions in the 1993 Mustang Ford service manual as a guide when removing the cruise control. When I researched this project online, forum posts mention different instructions and different components for different years of Mustangs. It's a good idea to do some research for your specific Mustang before attempting to delete your cruise control. There are cruise control components behind the dashboard, under the hood, and inside the wheel well. You will need to put the car on a jack stand, remove the driver's side front wheel, and the driver's side fender splash shield. The cruise control parts I removed consist of a servo, a rubber servo cover, a vacuum hose with a brown stripe and check valve that connects to the vacuum manifold on the firewall, a vacuum hose with a white stripe that connects to the dump valve attached to the pedal assembly near the top of the brake pedal, wiring that connects to the amplifier behind the dashboard, a speed control actuator cable that attaches to the throttle cable, and a bracket that mounts the servo to the A-pillar. The process of removing the cruise control components is pretty simple, but it does require positioning yourself underneath the dashboard. I highly recommend removing the driver's seat. Under the dashboard, on the left side, disconnect the servo wiring from the amplifier. I used flexible rubberized tape to cover the open connector. Disconnect the white striped vacuum hose from the dump valve. I took the dump valve out too. Under the hood, mark the vacuum manifold port that will need to be capped after the cruise control is deleted. Remove the brown striped vacuum hose from the vacuum manifold. Disconnect the speed control actuator cable from the throttle cable. It bolts to a metal bracket on the intake manifold and is clipped to a plastic bracket that attaches to the throttle cable. You can remove the plastic bracket from the tip of the throttle cable. From inside the wheel well, carefully pull the brown striped vacuum hose and the speed control actuator cable out of the engine compartment. Remove the grommet on the firewall by pulling it into the wheel well. I needed an interior trim panel removal tool and some glass cleaner to get the stubborn grommet out. With the grommet removed, gently pull the white striped vacuum hose and the servo to amplifier wiring out of the passenger compartment. Remove the servo mounting bracket from the A-pillar. With the cruise control components out of the car, I used some flexible rubberized tape to seal the grommet hole in the firewall. Then I capped the open port on the vacuum manifold. It took me 1 hour and 40 minutes to remove these cruise control components. That includes reinstalling the splash shield, putting the wheel back on, and getting the car back on the ground. Deleting the cruise control pulled 3.7 pounds out of the car. Because this weight is essentially right at the firewall, I'm including it in Zone 1. That means I've taken 100.17 pounds out of Zone 1, 100.23 pounds out of Zone 2, and 96.66 pounds out of Zone 3. And it brings my total weight reduction to 297.1 pounds. Taking 3.7 pounds out of a car might not seem like a lot of weight, but there are a multitude of small weight reduction mods you can make to Fox Body Mustangs. Doing 10 little mods like this will take a lot of weight out of my car, and there are still plenty of areas where I can pull out bigger chunks of weight. I'll cover more weight reduction mods in the next video in this series.